Welcome back to another episode of I've Seen That Movie Too. And I know we keep switching the title on it. Some of us say before, some of us say two in the videos.
Yes, it's what it is. I've seen that movie too.
Yes.
Is the official title.
We want to give a quick shout out to John Tyler. They are gracious enough to allow us to use their theater, yes, for filming, as well as for other things that we film as well. So we want to give them a quick shout out. You can follow them at these links. I'll learn to talk one day.
You hopefully.
Well,
today we're looking at meteorite movies.
Mm-hmm.
The meteors are coming. They certainly are.
Yeah.
At least in 1999 they were coming down pretty hard. So we got Armageddon versus Deep Impact.
That's right.
So let's give it a quick see.
Spinning too fast.
Oh.
Yeah, so let's see. All right, so Armageddon versus Deep Impact. This was one of the ones we agreed on. Both of us agreed on. So what?
Which I honestly didn't think we would. I thought that I would have to end up defending this one. Let me just first start off by saying I did not particularly care for either of these movies.
Really?
Honestly, yes. I did not really care for either of these movies, but for different reasons.
Okay.
But I liked one a little bit more than the other. I chose Armageddon, and one of the big reasons why I chose Armageddon is that even though the characters, the main characters, the group of astronaut drillers and stuff like that were a lot crazier and goofier, they were standard Michael Bay comedy relief characters.
Right.
I still cared about them as characters more than any of the main characters in Deep Impact, more than the female reporter, more than the kid astronomer, certainly more than the actual astronauts in Deep Impact, which had like no character development at all. They were just like a plot device, basically. They said bye to their families and stuff, but do you remember any defining characteristics about any of those characters?
Well, and I think that's what the problem with Deep Impact was, is that they were very one-note characters. I know I say that about a lot of movies, but it's kind of true.
Yeah.
Like, they have one thing that defines them, and then you go through that story, and then at the end you're kind of like, huh, you know? Versus that's why I did like Armageddon, because, like, it took something that, I mean, it could happen, but, like, it is a little bit ridiculous. And it just went all the way, you know, to the extreme of it.
In Deep Impact, they have to be alerted by these kids in Richmond.
Right.
In Richmond, that something's happening.
Wait, I thought they were in D.C.
No, in Richmond. They started out in Richmond, where the kids were. And it started out where they had to alert the astronomer. The astronomer found out, and he gets in a car crash.
Yeah.
And it takes almost a year before anyone else notices. And then they say it's going to take another year from the time they make the press conference to get ready. Whereas in Armageddon, they were like, oh shit, the meteors are coming. And they just got things done fast.
Yeah.
They were just like, we're going to build a spaceship. We got all this. We're going to be ready to go in, 3 days or something like that? Something ridiculous like that?
I will say I did notice in the opening credits, guess who else helped write this script?
Which one, Deep Impact or Armageddon?
Armageddon. Guess who else helped write that script?
Aaron Sorkinson.
No, I don't think he did.
I was just guessing.
Yeah, that was a horrible guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know his style, where it's like all the characters talk fast. No, it was J.J. Abrams.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he helped write the script for Armageddon. But
makes a little bit of sense. I mean, it was directed by Michael Bay, and it was certainly shot like a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah.
But there were a few instances where, like, sort of J.J. Abrams-ish, maybe, in the way that it was shot. And I don't know how much, if any, influence he had in how it was shot. I doubt it. But
no, I think he was just credited straight for the story. Like, he was one of the people who helped pen it. But, I mean, that's what we're talking about, is that with the story, like, it is that standard Michael Bay film, but that was, like, back in the heyday when everybody loved Michael Bay. You know, like, because those characters did have more personality.
Oh, yeah.
And it had comedy in it, too, to help break up the serious part. Because Deep Impact was just serious from beginning to end. And
so dry.
It really was.
Like a piece of chicken that's been cooked way too long, and all the
I don't know
juice
if I
is
would
taken
go
out
with
of it.
that, but...
Why?
Okay.
It's a cooking metaphor.
Yeah, you're making me hungry. But...
Also, one thing that I thought was kind of funny, but for the wrong reason, is that the female reporter dies in Deep Impact, just like straight up. I was like, so her character...
But she did a sacrifice, though.
How did she sacrifice? How does standing there on the beach and let the tsunami hit you save anybody?
Well, because she saved her friend who had a daughter. because the daughter got accepted to go. So she gave up her seat so that she could be with her daughter. But that doesn't mean
that she needed to be on the beach for the tidal wave. She could have left.
But it makes sense. It doesn't. It makes sense. Look. I'm not trying to. I guess I am trying to defend the movie in this instance. Nope. But she went to the beach because that's where it all started for her story. She grew up in that house. Her father still lived there. She wasn't on talking terms with her father. So they had to wrap that arc up by her going to her father and apologizing for not having him in her life. They just happened to be on a beach, which was a really bad location.
Phone call. Yeah, pick up that telephone and say, I'm sorry, Dad.
But he wouldn't have picked up because he was on the beach.
Well, that's his own damn fault for being on the beach. This tidal wave's coming. I will say that one thing story-wise, both of these movies end in a heroic sacrifice by an astronaut in order to save the world. Bruce Willis obviously is the one-man sacrifice, and then the whole team of nameless, faceless astronauts.
Well, they weren't faceless.
They were faceless to me. I can't remember them. Do you remember who they were? Who played any of those characters?
Anyways, moving on.
I will say one thing that really sort of was jarring for me with Armageddon at first was like, it was all over the place. Like, cut. I was like, this movie needs some Ritalin. It needs to calm down right now. Like, you can have those fast cuts during the action, but it's like the first 30 minutes of that movie was just, I don't think a single shot went more than like 20 seconds.
Right.
And it was just like, stop it, please stop it.
But that's Michael Bay's style. Like, that's what like that and explosions, like they go hand in hand. I do. That is one thing I did like about Deep Impact is that they let the scenes breathe. They had longer shots.
Morgan Freeman would just sit there and
they had a lot of high-profile characters or high-profile actors in it too.
Gently narrate to you how the world is going to end.
Yeah.
Just like, and then the meteor. I can't do a Morgan Freeman impersonation. And then the meteor will hit the Earth. And it'll create a tidal wave 7 miles high. And
though I did like when the first time the shuttle failed, or their plan failed, and he had to tell the whole world.
Yeah.
And like he was such a good actor in that one because you could tell he was just like, I don't know what to tell these people, other than the straight truth, and because it was such a break from his character's normal like we got this, it's under control kind of thing.
One thing that I would say that makes Deep Impact less of the not worse, I would say the worst, but the not as great movie as Armageddon is that with Armageddon, because so much of it takes place in space or on the asteroid or talk about digging into the asteroid, it was like that is the only story they could have told, is that this big asteroid is coming down.
Right.
With Deep Impact, I honestly feel that with a few rewrites, you could make that space story about any disaster. A gigantic earthquake is striking the Earth. A massive volcano is erupting over the city. Hell, Godzilla could come out of the ocean and just start tearing shit down. And you could put you could put the kid who discovers it first, the lady reporter, the concerned president, all that stuff would fit exactly in those kind of movies, whereas Armageddon, the only story that you could have told was the asteroid is coming down to Earth and it's gonna mess everything up.
Well, didn't they do that though? Because like you have Deep Impact, and then the movie, I think it was 2012, wasn't it? The movie came out where that was a natural disaster movie, and that's pretty much what you're talking about.
Yeah,
it's like changing a few things.
We can't decide on which natural disaster we're going to do, so we're just going to do all of them.
Yeah, everything happened in 2012, but that may be another one that we can review for one of these.
I don't want to. I really don't.
I know that's your favorite. I know you want to watch it.
No.
You want to go ahead and do final thoughts?
Oh yeah, sure. I would say while neither movie is really great, I don't understand why Armageddon had to be 2.5 hours long. I got a thing about movies over 2-ish hours in length. But I will say that for the characters and for the action, I would say Armageddon takes the lead over Deep Impact.
Right, and I think that's really what it came down to for me, is that as cheesy as it was, because a lot of people think Armageddon's a bad movie, and I would not argue that point.
Oh yeah.
But it's one of those where it's so bad it's good kind of things, where it's enjoyable. That's the thing, is that it keeps moving and progressing the story, and the characters are extremely likable. you know, and as well as
Ben Affleck's character took a little while to grow on me.
yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. But Deep Impact is just it's again it's very linear, and the characters are one note, and it really does get dry. You kind of wait for that moment where you're like, I want all of this to end, even if everybody dies.
Drown that breast in some honey mustard or some barbecue sauce just in order to make it palatable.
Okay, well those are our thoughts. What did you think? Do you agree with us? Disagree with us? Have any ideas for movies we should watch? Please leave a comment below in the section.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us at Instagram as well on Facebook. I'm Zach.
I'm Kenan, and thank you for watching.
Look out, Mark. An asteroid's coming.
Oh no.
Whoop. We killed Mark.
You killed Mark.